Hi folks, this is ETprepper. Well, today I'm going to be doing a project, and these are 275 gallon IBC totes. And what I'm going to do is turn these into firewood holders. And as most of you know that watch my channel, I burn lots of wood. Mainly I try to heat my house mainly with wood. I've got plentiful resources of wood all the way around me. And then also, mills have cut-offs and stuff like that I also glean, which is a lot easier than chainsaw and splitting and everything else. Anyway, today I'm going to show you how to take this IBC tote and turn it into a water-resistant or water-shedding storage for your firewood. And also, in my case, my deck, here's a picture of it. My deck sits, 8 feet higher than the ground, almost 8 feet. Well, for me to hike that firewood up and down all winter, I don't want to do that. I like to spend less time doing stuff. I enjoy firewood, but there's a limit. And so the purpose of this is, one, to keep it dry. I don't have many spots where I can put it under roof, and I don't want to build another lean-to or whatever. So I put it inside here, and the lid is going to be hinged, and then it'll close, and then it'll keep the wood that's inside it dry. And when it's time to replace the empty tote, as you saw in the beginning of this, I just bought 6 of these totes. They're cheap. You can find them on Facebook Marketplace or wherever. Anyway, so when the tote is empty, I take my skid steer and I pull it off. Take a look at the picture. And I pull it off with the skid steer, with the forks, put it down on the ground, pick up a full one, put it back up on my deck, and I'm good to go. So I'm making my life a lot easier by investment here, but time is important, time is valuable, as we will all see in the near future here. So let's get to it. Now the first thing I'm going to do is, I've got this board. I don't want to cut it off here. Now I'm going to cut the metal off here, but I don't want to cut it so far. I don't want to lose that much. So I want to, this is about perfect right here, this board. So what I'm going to do is take my Sharpie and make some marks. So now I've got it marked. You can visualize and see where the lid, the top of this is going to be. So basically I'm going to put hinges, 3 hinges, robustly mounted on each one, and then the lid is going to come up, and I'll hold that up with like a stick, and it'll be held up, prop rod. Here's another part of my design that is going to be a little more unique than others. Here's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to cut this top portion off, and then this section right here I'm going to cut out. So I'll cut 2 more bars, this one and this one, out in this section, and have it come down so I can reach in there and pull out the firewood. Trying to make it simple and easy. I'll draw that on here. Here's the long side, and here's the short side. It's a rectangle, it's not a square. Here, take a look. So I don't want to be reaching in the long side trying to reach the back, right? So I want to reach in here and I can reach all the way. So I'm going to cut it down to, I'm not sure, I'm designing it as I go kind of. I'll cut my lid and it'll dip down like this and come back up and around. And that's so I can easily reach in there. Okay, so now the first step of what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut these cross pieces so I can lift the plastic part of the tote out, and then I can cut all my metal pieces off without damaging the tote. Well, this actual plastic part of the tote is kind of lighter than I expected. It'll still work great. And also another thing, I'm going to be drilling a lot of holes in it, allow airflow through it, so the wood continues to dry. So now, let's get to it. So we'll get this thing out of the way. And then another thing, when you're using a tote like this, you got to be careful what chemicals are inside of it. It's just good to rinse this stuff out just to make sure you start with a clean tote. Now we're talking about firewood, so if it's rinsed clean, that's good. If you're using it for food, the plastic can actually absorb some of the chemicals. So like if you're using it for water, I mean, and then those chemicals may leach out into the water. You don't want that. So you want the stuff that's been in a food service type place for water. But this particular application doesn't matter what's inside it. And also, we'll, not right now, but when I get a chance, I'm going to paint these because the UV from the sun will eventually cause it to get brittle. Like you saw me tugging on it and it didn't break. After they get brittle, that would have broken it. All right, let's get to the frame. This cut out with this section lower. So again, I can reach in and grab the firewood all the way in the back. That's the plan. All right. Now we have to smooth all this out. There are a lot of sharp edges, and so we'll smooth them out. I think I'll hammer them down a little bit and then smooth them out. Put the tote back in and you'll see what I'm talking about. I recommend gloves because there's a lot of sharp edges now. Some guys actually use big, huge bolt cutters. They'll actually, if you got a big, long pair of bolt cutters, gigantic ones, you can just snip these off real quick. My guess is you saw that coming. I didn't. We've got sharp points around. We're going to grind them down. The whole thing is not to spend a month doing this. We want to get it done and move on to the next one. I got 5 more to go after this. Another thing, this is very thin wall tubing. So it's easy to, this is a cutter disc as well as a slight grinding disc. It's easy to cut right through the tubing, and I don't want to do that. I want it to still maintain its integrity. So these guys, I'm smoothing off here, and here, and here, and these guys I'll just touch a little bit so they're smooth. And these, oops, I got to tap that one down. But again, that's where I'm going to be, so I want to make sure they're smooth. I wonder. No. So now, there you go. So now you can kind of see. So I cut it off up here, come down here, and I'm actually going to come further down. I decided I'm going to come down and then back up and around here. So that's, I'll draw it out better, you'll see it in a second. So now you can see where I'm going to cut the blue line here. I'm going to cut around, hopefully I won't make that mistake. Anyway, I'll come it around, I'll radius these corners and then all the way around the back here. And then the hinges will come back here and this lid will come up. Can you see it? And then that should work out real nice. Now, before I get into it any further, I think I'm going to rinse it out. Well, I'm going to fire up an old friend, Milwaukee Sawzall. He always seems to work. Wow, look at this. I don't know if you can see that, but cobwebs in there. I haven't used this a lot. But my batteries seem to be going dead on me quicker than what I appreciate. Alright, let's go. Yeah, that would explain why. If the thing was in good shape, look at that blade. It's gone. I didn't realize it was that far gone. Boy, it cuts beautiful in the fresh part. Here we go. That's why I didn't drill the holes in it yet, because I think I'm going to drill it after it gets back in the cage, because it's just getting too, you drill in a bunch of holes and it'll get real loose and floppy. Well, here's the lid. Looking good. All dirty now. I cleaned it outside and in, so there's that part of it. And one little facet. Now, I have no need for this valve, right? So, I think what I'm going to do what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this valve off and see if I can sell it. If I can sell it for 20-30 bucks, that takes half the cost out of this thing. So there is my firewood holder, and I can easily reach everywhere inside of it. And then the lid obviously goes there, but here's how it works. So when I'm going, it's hinged like that. Well, the goal here is to do it right the first time. So I'm going to put 3 hinges on that lid right here. And like I said, it's pretty floppy. So what I'm going to do is support the back side with a piece of wood. Well, also when the thing comes down, when the lid comes down, it's going to want to wander here and there because it's so floppy. So I'm putting these in here as guides. And like I said, to do it right the first time is a lot easier than to do it again. So what I'm doing is I'm going to screw this into the wall. You'll see in a second. And then I'm going to use this screw. But the trick is spread the load out, because inevitably it'll crack or whatever, get bumped, and that's the end of it. So that'll spread the load out. You'll see that in a second. So now I've got these 2 pieces in place, and so I've cut them on an angle, so when the edge slides down, it'll slide naturally into it. Kind of hard to tell right now. Anyway, so there you have it. Your firewood storage, simple and easy. A little bit of effort, it'll save a lot in the future. What we're going to do is take this valve off. I hope. So I pull this valve, and it's been used once. It's got a cap on it, It's a ball valve. You know what a ball valve is? It's a ball. And when you turn it, the valve opens. See that? And you can see the valve closing. That's the ball valve. So now I'm going to drill in a bunch of holes. And there we go. I'm using a 1-inch spade bit. Okay, that should be enough for the bottom. That's what it looks like. Now we'll put it in its home. Get in there. Okay, I've counted the holes in the sides. I put 50 holes in. Here, let's take a look. So in the sides, there's 50 holes, and obviously you can see what I did. In the middle of each section, I put a hole. You can see that. And then there's the pattern in the bottom. That's it. So now there should be enough airflow in that thing to let the wood continue to dry and stay dry with the lid. Well, here we are. I don't have the hinges, but I made hinges temporarily so I could show you guys this. And I've got the prop rod, real simple. Cut a slot in there, see that? And what I'll do is, it just happens to be the right length here. When this is empty, it'll sit here like this, and the lid will go over it. But when it's time to prop it up, put it behind here, like so, and then that goes like so. And so the prop rod holds it up, and then I can fill it or take wood out. So there you go. So here is a walk around of it. Prop rod is in place. The drain is missing. I've removed it. Got all the holes in place. Got the bars cut out where I want them. The downside of having this big opening in front, of course, is it doesn't get filled overflowing. In the back, it gets filled overflowing. But if you notice how to stack wood, we can make that work pretty good. And then when this lid is closed, like so, so now I got the prop rod inside there. Pretty much it's shielded from the top, and the sides won't take on any water, and it's going to stay dry. So this is how it works. I cut the wood here on this chop saw, and then I just simply throw it in the tote. That's it. A lot less handling. I have the wood slabs on the trailer, and I've got this set up. Take a look at my other video about a Harbor Freight motorcycle endurance test. Motorcycle lift endurance test, because this is old and it's been working great. Take a look at that video. Anyway, so I'm cutting this wood and I throw it in here. That's it. No more handling other than when it's time to burn. Instead of backing up the trailer, cutting it, throwing it in a pile like this, and then stacking it like that. I'll show you a picture right there. And then coming down the stairs, filling up a laundry basket or whatever kind of a basket that's sturdy, going back up the stairs, hopefully it's not snowy and slippery, bring it in the house and so forth. Here, I take my skid steer, which is over there, lift it up, put it right up there on the railing, done. So it goes from the cut, basically, up there. A lot less handling.